Hello, gorgeous goddesses. Welcome to a recording of another episode for Love Goddess Podcast with your host, Katya Melvin. And today I specifically want to focus on talking about body, mind, and spirit, how it all connects, why it is important, why it's important to keep the three aligned, and what does that really mean for you? What does that really mean in a physical sense, or spiritual sense, or mental sense, right? Body, mind, and spirit. And this is how the three connect. In fact, a lot of spiritual teachers nowadays are saying that all three of our layers must be aligned in order to manifest our best life, our success, whatever desires that we have in our heart. And when you have your three elements aligned with your goals, when you don't limit yourself on where you're going, what direction you're taking, when you don't have limiting beliefs, when your mind, your spirit, and your body is aligned, that is when you're able to achieve your irresistible life that I am teaching women how to achieve. Let's talk, and I want to dive into every single one of them and explore a little more. And I'm going to start with your body, and I'll go in order, simply because we used to hearing body, mind, and spirit. So I'm going to go in that order. However, in perfect world, I would probably go the opposite. Let's start with the body. The body, and actually, let me go back. We live in 9 dimensions. There is unity, duality, trinity, then there is third dimension, then there is fourth dimension, then there is fifth dimension, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go into the depth of that knowledge. I will say that our body lives in the third dimension. Our body lives in the third dimension. This is where we can feel, see, touch, speak, right? We are in a physical world that has manifested. Everything that you see surrounding you every single day has been a thought that has materialized into a physical object. How freaking cool is that? How cool is that? And a thought that materialized into a physical object is called your creation, right? You were a thought that materialized in a physical object. You were God's thought that materialized into a physical object of a body that is alive, because all God's creations are alive. The only creations that are not alive are not from God. Broken trees, houses, cars, they're not from God. They're not alive. God is perfect and his creations are perfect. Food for thought, but on that maybe another time. So you are being a thought that materialized, and your body is your physical manifestation of a God's thought. This could have been also a thought of your mom and dad wanting to have a child that has come to fruition, that has materialized in a physical reality. How freaking cool is that? That's why I am so fascinated with feminine power, because feminine, we women can birth children. We women can create out of thin air. We women can create out of thin air. I mean, I have to repeat this phrase. It, and if you think about this, everything that has been created has been a thought first. Everything that has been created has been a thought first. More on that back once I cycle through mind, body, and spirit theory. So, you, as a third dimensional body, primarily living in a physical world. This is how you experience joy. This is how you experience orgasm. This is how you experience pleasure. This is how you experience the contrast. And believe it when I say it, when you were in a spiritual realm, you were looking to experience contrast. Now you're bitching about that contrast. I don't have enough money. I don't like this. I don't like how she looked at me or what she said to me, right? It is your little nudges to look at things differently and awaken different desires within yourself so you can create with your life-creating power of thought, right? So back when you were still a spirit, you were looking for the contrast, to experience contrast, because contrast creates desires. Contrast creates desires, and you, as creator of life, through your desires, create different version of your own reality. Now, your body is how you experience your creations. Your body is important because that is how you experience your creations. Let me grab a sip of water real quick. Your mind is how you process those creations and you create desires. Your thought produces desires. This is how you estimate what has happened in the life, and you start understanding, I am desiring more of that, or more, I don't want that, but I want that. Because like Abraham Hicks teaches, every story, every contrast is two stories: what I want and what I don't want. Right? This is what I want, but this is what I don't want. Or if you know what you don't want, you can always get on the other side of the stick and find out what it is that you do want. A lot of people live in the realm of, I don't want that, right? But they don't think, what do they really want? What do they really want? And so I'm challenging you to think in terms of, what do you want? What do you really want? And your mind is how you see things through a logical sense, and it is being formed from your perceptions. This is where our limiting beliefs come through, because those are the stories that we have created from our past life experience. And those stories, sometimes they are not true. Actually, most of the time they're not true, because they're just limitations you have placed upon yourself, right? And your spirit is your ultimate alignment to divine, to what is the divine force, to what God is, right? Like, because you are God, you're like a piece of God. We all one. Remember the unity, the dimension, the first dimension. We're all one. We're unity, right? In duality, we split in two. And Trinity, we are in a physical, right? And fourth dimension is the dimension of our mind. And fifth dimension is the dimension of our spirit. This is where we are aligned, and I'm so excited. The earth is vibrating closer to fourth dimension, and we are ascending in our dimensions. We are ascending how we live life. Do we live life in physical reality, how we have been over past multi-thousand centuries? Or are we living in our mind? Or are we living in our spirit, right? And that is what constitutes the ascension. You see ascension, spiritual ascension. What the fuck is ascension? Ascension is your spiritual existence. How higher are you vibrating? How much closer to God are you? Because it is a full circle. And you go through a full circle. I know, like, I'm supposed to be teaching you about sexuality, and here I am preaching the pillars of life and dimensions. Did I tell you that your sexuality is your spirituality, and they are non-separable? It is literally the same energy. You are God, and everything that's from you that feels good is from God, right? So why mind, body, and spirit is important? Because when you incorporate all three aspects of your being, you are able to create from a non-resistant place. When your body is aligned, you're able to move forward and create in a physical reality. When your mind is aligned, you remove all the resistance that's standing before you. That's your conscious mind, right? Your conscious mind. Your spirit is your unconscious mind, right? And what your spirit is where you are starting. Your spirit, you connecting to that authentic self, because your spirit is always authentic to who you are, connecting to that authentic self. And I am the preacher of self-authenticity. I'm a preacher of self-love. I am a preacher of expressing yourself fully and not caring about anyone else because they are acting on their own set of limitations. And why do you care? Why do you care, right? And when you are aligned with yourself spiritually, and that's why we should have started it from the spirit first. When you are aligned with yourself spiritually, you then can align your mind, and through your mind, you can align your body. That's really how it works. And the trio, the trinity of body, mind, and spirit is what you're looking for. The full alignment that will create the manifestation of a life that you came here to create. The full desire fulfillment. That's why you are here. That's why I am here and being your guide. And thank you for tuning in to Lovegodesss podcast today. And how does it connect to everything that we do? Actually, we are opening dance studio with classes that will be spiritual, with classes with spirituality, the sisterhood circles, the ritual circles. And as well with that, we will be hosting sensuality classes that will align your body, and sexuality is your most authentic force. When you are connected to your sexuality, you're connected to yourself, meaning you're also connected to God the most, because you are connected to most authentic self. Your sexuality is literally how you came about, how the kids that you're going to produce are going to come about. It's a life force. It's a life force, life-creating energy. And you can use sexuality for pleasure, and you can use sexuality for creation through pleasure. And it is the same thing. Thank you for tuning in. I have dropped some free sample classes. We will be hosting a whole week of classes for you, my loves, to come by the Lovegodesss Studio and test it out for yourself. what it's like to be a part of the Lovegodesss Studio. I'm dropping those in the description below. Make sure to click the link. We're hosting one entire week of free classes, so you can come and test it out for yourself. So don't miss this opportunity and sign up. And I am so blessed you've been here with me today. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.